Deep in the heart of a lush forest, where sunlight trickled through a canopy of green leaves, lived Benny, a young and curious bear cub. Benny was born in this serene woodland, surrounded by towering trees, sparkling streams, and the occasional chatter of birds. Life was simple and predictable until the day everything changed. One crisp autumn morning, Benny's mother, Mabel, called him and his two siblings, Rosie and Max, to her side. She wore a look of determination. "Cubs," Mabel began, "winter is coming, and our den won't be enough this year. Food has been harder to find, and I've heard whispers of a place where the streams never freeze and berries grow year-round." Benny's ears perked up. "Where is it, Mama?" Mabel hesitated before replying. "The city. It's far from here, but we need to go if we're going to make it through the winter." The idea of leaving the forest sent a ripple of excitement and fear through Benny. The city was a mysterious place they'd only heard about in passing from migrating birds. The journey began at dawn. The family trekked through the dense forest, following a distant hum that Mabel said would guide them to the city. Along the way, they faced challenges: a river that had to be crossed on a fallen log, a run-in with a sly fox who tried to trick them into giving up their food, and an exhausting climb up a steep hill. Finally, after days of travel, the trees began to thin, replaced by vast stretches of asphalt and strange structures that reached toward the sky. Benny's eyes widened as he took in the sights. The city buzzed with energemetal boxes with wheels zipped by. Humans walked in groups, and bright lights flickered everywhere. "This is it," Mabel said, her voice tinged with both awe and caution. The family quickly learned that the city was a place of endless surprises. Benny discovered the wonders of overflowing garbage bins, which held treasures like half-eaten sandwiches and discarded pastries. Rosie marveled at shiny shop windows that reflected her image, and Max made a game of dodging pigeons in the park. One day, while exploring a busy market, Benny got separated from his family. Panic surged through him as humans pointed and whispered. "A bear cub? Here?" someone exclaimed. Benny bolted down an alley, his heart pounding, until he found himself in a quiet backyard. A kind human child named Ellie found Benny there, trembling and alone. Instead of being scared, Ellie gently offered him an apple. "Are you lost, little bear?" she asked. Benny hesitated, but eventually took the fruit. Ellie's calm presence reminded him of home. Ellie's family helped Benny reunite with his own by following reports of bear sightings throughout the neighborhood. When they found Mabel and the others in a park, Benny ran into his mother's embrace, his small bear heart full of relief. Though their adventure in the city was thrilling, Mabel decided it wasn't the place for them. The humans were kind but too unpredictable, and the dangers of the city outweighed its rewards. As the family journeyed back to the forest, Benny felt a newfound appreciation for their home. The forest was quieter and simpler, but it was theirs. And though the city was an adventure he'd never forget, Benny was glad to return to the place where he truly belonged. Their journey reminded them that, while it's good to explore the unknown, sometimes the greatest treasures are found where your roots run deep. The journey back to the forest wasn't as hurried as their trek to the city. With full bellies and new experiences under their belts, Mabel and the cubs took their time, weaving through paths they hadn't traveled before. Benny, Rosie, and Max talked non-stop about everything they'd seen: the bright lights, the strange smells, and the humans they encountered. Benny couldn't stop thinking about Ellie. She had been so kind and unafraid. It amazed him how humans, though so different, could still show compassion to creatures like him. "Mama," Benny said as they rested by a bubbling brook one evening, "why do humans live so differently from us?" Mabel paused, reflecting. "Humans have their own ways, Benny. They've built their world to suit their needs, just like we have here in the forest. But their world is faster and more crowded. It's not bad, just different." Rosie chimed in. "Do you think they ever get lonely? I didn't see many humans sitting together like we do." Mabel smiled softly. "Maybe they do. Everyone needs family and friends, Rosie, even humans." As the days passed, the landscape around them grew more familiar. The air smelled sweeter, and the ground felt softer under their paws. When they finally reached their den, the cubs cheered. It felt good to be home. The forest had changed while they were gone. Snow dusted the trees, and the streams had started to freeze over. But Mabel was prepared. She led the cubs to a hidden cache of food she'd stored before their journey. With full stomachs, the family snuggled together in the warmth of their den. Winter settled over the forest like a thick blanket. Life slowed, and the cubs spent their days napping, playing, and listening to Mabel's stories. But Benny's mind often wandered to the city. One quiet evening, as snowflakes danced outside, Benny said, "Mama, do you think we'll ever go back to the city?" Mabel chuckled. "Maybe someday, but for now, this is where we belong. The city was exciting, but it's not our home. Still, it's good to know what's out there. It makes us stronger and wiser." Benny nodded, his heart warmed by her words. The city had shown him how big and diverse the world was, but it also taught him to appreciate the quiet beauty of the forest, the rustle of leaves, the smell of pine, and the way the stars shone brighter without city lights to dim them. Spring came, and the forest burst back to life. Benny, Rosie, and Max were bigger now, more adventurous and confident after their journey. They roamed farther, climbed higher, and splashed in streams without hesitation. One day, while exploring a meadow, Benny found something unusual, a shiny red ribbon tangled in the grass. He sniffed it and instantly recognized the faint scent of Ellie. "Mama, look!" Benny called, running back to the den with the ribbon in his mouth. "It's from the city, from Ellie." Mabel examined it and smiled. "Maybe she was thinking of you too, Benny. It's her way of saying hello." Benny decided to keep the ribbon as a reminder of their adventure. He tied it to a branch near their den, where it fluttered in the wind, a small piece of the city blending into their forest home. And so, life went on. The bears thrived in their woodland, forever changed by their time in the city. Benny grew up with stories to tell, stories of bustling streets, twinkling lights, and a kind human girl who showed him that no matter where you came from, kindness could bridge the gap between worlds. In the years to come, Benny would often stare at the ribbon and wonder about Ellie. He hoped she was happy, and maybe even thinking of him too. For Benny and his family, the adventure to the city became a cherished memory. It taught them to embrace the unfamiliar, to be brave in the face of challenges, and to always find their way back home where the heart truly belonged.